Next time I cry to anybody who's around me, just actually take my phone away. Seriously, I'm not okay. It's an incredibly bittersweet feeling. I, shot these all together in Slovakia in 2022 with the intention of putting them out within a year, all three of them. So to me, it was like, oh, this will be wrapped up in 2024. I'll be moved on with my life. And that's like, now we're here sitting in 2026 and I'm putting out my final film. What a blessing. And, I'm going to miss parts of Maya, but I really do feel like you get the full scope of her world and you get the beginning, middle, and end of her arc. And I like when films end with questions. I don't think you want to know everything. I think that makes it more interesting for audiences. So um, it was a crazy process, but I'm excited for the next chapter of my life and also people to see this chapter.
So, what are you most proud of in that journey of Maya that's unfolded from beginning to end?
I'm really proud of her strength. I think there are moments, especially in chapter 2, as it is the middle of her arc, where she really doubts herself and her want to continue fighting to survive. And in 3, she not only finds her will to live, but she finds her will to fight. Like she actively wants to go and fight. And I think that that's really fun for audiences to see, and it's really fun to play. Like when you get there, it's really fun to play. The final girl is something that we've scratched the surface of, but we haven't really gotten to get into the weeds with in terms of blurring lines and protagonist versus antagonist conversations and loss of humanity. And I think there is always an implied loss of humanity when the final girl becomes the final girl, but you really see the loss of humanity in Maya, and it sparks questions of like, is she still the protagonist? Is she still the final girl? Has she really come out on top when she has nothing left? So I think it's really gonna, like I said earlier, spark some really interesting and meaningful questions and conversations around that topic. But I love being in the likes of all the other final girls we have, even if I'm a different kind.
And like you again, you were saying like you shot this trilogy in just over 50 days, which is so like just a regular
Psychotic.
movie
Oh,
is yeah.
right, right.
Just a regular movie is shot in that time. You did a trilogy. What
Mm.
was the biggest challenge for you as an actor and kind of sustaining that level of intensity across three films back to back, which is amazing.
Honestly, it was navigation. It was, we'd shoot movie 2 in the morning and movie 3 in the evening. And it was like keeping track emotionally where I am, what just happened the moment before, what I don't know yet, what is about to come, like having to erase parts of what I've already shot in my head because I don't know how this ends up when I'm shooting the opening of movie 1. So it's like, it was really about like learning how to compartmentalize different parts of my brain so that I could go into movie 1, which we actually shot most of at the end of the shoot, to go into that with a completely open slate and not feel that kind of level of daunting in Maya was probably the biggest challenge.
For horror audiences, what do you think is going to surprise them about this final chapter?
I think the ending. I'm sure that they have I'm sure some people will figure it out, but I think the ending and choosing to not take the easy route of the big final blowout like you usually see in this kind of film, but doing something a little bit more unique and intimate, I think will surprise people.
I watched your Caller Daddy podcast, and you've been so hands on and open about mental health. How has being hands on about and prioritizing your mental wellness helped you navigate your life?
Well, I think that comes from being in a childhood environment where you're around people who aren't prioritizing their mental health and seeing how that trickles down onto you as a
Yeah.
people around them. And I never want my mental health or me in general as a person to affect somebody else's life in a negative impact. So it's really about like accountability mostly. I do weekly therapy. I've had the same therapist for 10 years. I'm obsessed with her.
Oh,
I think if that works for you, that's great. There's so many different kinds of therapy, but I do really believe that there can't possibly be a human on this planet that doesn't need therapy, even if they have the most wonderful life on planet Earth. Having a person who's a complete, bystander who has their no real perspective on your life other than just to support you for an hour is like one of the most important things. And I think we're really lucky to have that.
I was also checking out your Instagram, and one thing that I loved is that you took all these pictures of you crying, which I thought is so cool. This is so rare for people to do that.
Mm.
I was just wondered if like, is there ever a book or media or a television show that last brought you to tears?
Oh my God. Actually, this is such a strange answer. Oh, two. I watched Eternity recently. Have you seen Eternity?
Oh no.
That was like beautiful tears. That was like sweet tears. And then I watched The Long Walk, which destroyed
Oh,
me as a
yes,
human being. And I was like,
yes.
how dare you? No one warned me about that movie. I was like, oh yeah, okay, like the guy who made Hunger Games, a bunch of kids die, like, we've seen the Hunger Games, like we get it. This was like an emotional trauma I've not experienced. That ending, when it was like the double ending where it's like, okay, oh no, no, he's gonna die, I was like, this is horrible. I actually live tweeted my friend photos of me crying throughout the process of that movie. I think they're on Instagram somewhere. I'm sure you can find them.
Totally, I saw
Take
them.
You know what?
Yes.
Take my phone away next time I cry to anybody who's around me. Just actually take my phone away. Seriously, I'm not okay.
And finally, like you stated, with this trilogy, you are now one of the next final girls. What do you love about horror as a genre? What gets you into it?
I think it's the most willing to take risks in our industry right now. I think that like you audiences are even willing to take risks because you walk into a horror film ready to soak up the rules of whatever world we're feeding you. Whereas if you're doing a drama or a comedy or anything else, we expect it to be the real world immediately, and we have to be kind of convinced over time as an audience to buy into it. Whereas with you, when you go into horror, audiences are ready and willing to jump into whatever circumstances you give them. So we're allowed to take more risks as creatives in that genre, I think.